Okay, there's halacha in the Choshon Mishpat, the end of Simon Shin Zayin. It says there's lashon the tur. En Odom Rashay Lodush beParosay Arvis Ulaskira Shachris B'chen Kalkayotza Bazeh. Meaning, it looks like it's not practical, but it is very practical. Originally, when people used to rent the cows, so it says you're not allowed to work with a cow the whole night, and then in the morning go rent it to someone this cow. Soon we're going to see what he means by that. Similarly in other things, what other things he means. But with the idea over here, it's that if the cow was so tired working the whole night, and then in the morning you're renting it to somebody, it should do work with the cow, then you are cheating him because the cow doesn't work now properly. It's tired. It needs to go to sleep, to eat. So that's why you're not allowed to do that. And the origin of this halacha, it's in the Tosefta of Metzia. It says like this: "En apoel rashay lasas malachto balaylo." Same thing would be. The Tur talks about in his time was more practical to rent cows, but he says the worker is not allowed to do at night work and then go during the day go hire, give his services to others. Yeah. And same thing he says, "V'lachrosh beparosei arvis," to plow your field with your cow at night, ulaskiro shachris, and then in the morning to give it to somebody else, to rent your cow to somebody else. Lo yamari v'mazgiv esatzmo machal mezanoisov lebano. If you get at the workplace food to eat, the boss giving you the food, you should have koyach to eat. And some people, they used to not eat themselves, give it to their children, but then he didn't have koyach to work properly because he didn't eat. You're not allowed to do that too. All this, the halacha of this, because you are shortchanging whoever gives us. Now, how does halacha translate to us in a practical level? We don't have today cows that we rent. So by a car, you can say this by the cow. Don't work with a car the whole night and then rent because the car could drive. It's not tired, the driving. So one of the most practical halachas, it's brought in Yoredeya. The Ramo brings in Yoredeya Siman Reish. Siman Reish Mem Hey. The Ramo says like this: V'en lemelamed lin or balayla. The melamed not allowed to be up the whole night. Shulayeh otzel bayoim lilmod, because if he's going to be up the whole night, you want to have koyach to learn to teach during the day. V'chen lo yisane. He's not allowed to be fasting the melamed. Or la'atzar b'machal or mishteh. Or lego yoster midai. He cannot start eating less than he needs or eating too much, because all these things, it's causing you that your integrity of your teaching, your quality of the teaching is not the same. Anybody that does such a changes, if there is a monetary dispute, the one did the change, he did something he's not supposed to do, he's going to lose. Okay, so according to this, that's one example how you're not allowed to do something at night to compromise. Either you didn't eat, you didn't sleep, and then you cannot do. Same thing would be if somebody is a painter, painted the whole night, then the next day he goes and he works, whether by the hour or by the job, by somebody else. Obviously, his quality of work won't be the same because he's tired. He was painting the whole night. How is he going to now? So you're paying him like it's a regular work. He's not. He's producing 70% of what he could produce, 60%. So all these halachas as telling us how very important when you rent or you give a service, you have to make sure you give 100% of yourself. It's very practical. There could be an accountants, lawyers, doctors, if they overwork and then come the time when they give the service to this person, he's not getting full service because they're tired already. Yeah, there's such an acceptable range.
Some people have no choice.
Right, but
they have to work two jobs because their husband ran away from them.
I know, but if you give your service to somebody, it's not their problem. You have to give them full service. You maybe have a need.
Somebody's problem.
Yeah, that's your problem. So you have to.
Why is it?
Well, please, after I finish, I can answer all your questions. So there's some acceptable range. People work 8 hours. Obviously, in the morning, people are going to produce a lot more than the end of the day. They're tired. But if somebody does over that range of acceptable range, then you cannot do. Ad kedei kach, we see the same idea in the Gemara in Tainis. The Gemara, the Machlokas over there, if somebody is fasting, is called a holy man or a sinner. So there's a Machlokas between Shmuel and Rabbi Elazar. Shmuel says, Kol ha'yosher b'Tainis nikra choita. They bring their rayas. Rabbi Elazar says nikra kodesh. Mamash two extremes. What? So Lamaisa, Elu ve'elu, they're both right. The Alter Rebbe says in Geras HaTshuva, he says the Alter Rebbe, there's a lot of tikkunim from the Arizal for different averes, different tshuvas. The Alter Rebbe says Och and calls all this tikunim bottom chozok ubori and ribo yatzoimas mazik leklal lebrius gufay. Somebody able to fast, and it's not going to hurt his health. Aval mish ribo yatzoimas mazik lo, if somebody for him is going to get weak because he's fasting. He says, either going to become sick of it or weak. Yeah, he says you're not allowed to fast. According to today, same thing over here. If it's everybody to know himself, it's very personal. Even somebody works only 8 hours, but the last 2 hours he produces 50% of what he's supposed to do. So he's not allowed. You have to do something. You have to go to rest, eat. You cannot. It's dishonest for the recipient of your service to give him a compromised work. So that's what's the pshat in the tour when he says. You cannot work the whole night with a cow and then rent it during the day. Any service, any work that if you give your service and because you're tired or hungry, you're gonna it will compromise what you're doing. You're not allowed to do it. You have to come ready to work and give 100% of the service.